3 foxes excitedly rushed towards the chicken coop, scaring the old hens into a frenzy. At this moment, a wolf emerged from the forest and saw the foxes having a great time in the co-op. The wolf let out a long laugh towards the sky and quickly charged towards the chicken coop. However, he did not steal any chickens but instead started a big fight with the foxes. Hearing the wolf's howl, a person grabbed a gun and went outside. Without understanding the situation, they aimed at the wolf, ready to shoot. Fortunately, a girl rushed over in time and lifted the gun barrel. The rescued wolf ran into the forest. The girl had no time to explain and quickly followed, leaving the owner bewildered. It turned out the girl and the wolf were good friends. The girl originally lived with her father in Chicago. That day, her father's job was suddenly transferred, and the car was about to leave. But he couldn't find the girl. Where did she go? If he didn't get in the car on time, he might lose this hard-earned job. Helplessly, the father left by car. After learning where her father went, the girl decided to set out alone to find him. Since the journey from Chicago to Seattle was long, she decided to hop on a train. At night, while wandering around the train station, she heard loud noises coming from inside a building. The girl went inside to check the situation. It turned out there was a dogfight happening. The one covered in scars was the king of the dog fighting ring. He had never lost a match. The big gray dog on the other side was not to be outdone, barking furiously in response, igniting the atmosphere of the entire place. After the bell rang, the fight began. In less than 10 seconds, the entire venue fell silent. The big gray dog had actually defeated the king of the dogs in an instant. Then, the owners of both sides started fighting. At this moment, the big gray dog suddenly jumped onto a wooden box, trying to escape. He immediately noticed the girl in the crowd. People hurriedly rushed forward to stop him, and the owner even took out a whip to hit him. Even though he was beaten until his skin was torn, the big gray dog did not give in but instead bit the owner's whip. Then, he lunged at the owner. After that, he quickly came to the girl, looking at her with pleading eyes. The girl cautiously opened the door for him. The big gray dog quickly ran out. The girl, however, was punched to the ground. That night, with nowhere to go, the girl went to the train car. She had just crouched down in the corner when the big gray dog suddenly jumped out, continuously growling at her, as if to say, "This is my territory." At this moment, the girl saw clearly that he was a wolf. No wonder he was so fierce. The girl quickly left the carriage and left half a sweet potato for the wolf. After seeing the food, the wolf instantly became docile. The girl hid in a well bucket inside the rear carriage. On the way, the train suddenly had an accident. The girl fell from above. She saw the wolf jump out of the carriage and run into the forest. The girl quickly followed. But soon, she lost track of him and could only continue on foot. On the way, she got hungry and wanted to eat some wild fruits. Unexpectedly, she couldn't swallow them at all. When she came to a small stream to drink water, she saw the wolf's reflection in the water. The wolf had a wild rabbit in its mouth. After putting down the rabbit, the wolf ran away. The girl roasted the rabbit. Actually, the wolf had been secretly protecting her all along. Before she could finish eating the meat, it suddenly started to rain heavily. The girl hurriedly found a cave to take shelter. Unexpectedly, the wolf came here again. The girl was sheltering from the rain in the cave. A big gray wolf came up to her. The wolf did not show its teeth or growl. This time, the girl did not plan to back down. "I will not leave here. I don't care what you do." At this time, in the morning, the rain had cleared. The girl had slept soundly all night, and when she woke up, she found that the wolf's body had become her pillow. Moreover, the wolf had not closed its eyes all night, staring intently in the direction of the cave entrance. It was protecting the girl's safety. Afterward, the two of them set off together. They went to the river to drink water. Soon, they saw a household. The girl planned to go over and ask for some food, but the wolf stopped at the edge of the forest. Because he knew that people generally don't like wolves, the couple was very hospitable to the girl and made her a sumptuous meal. To thank the couple for their kindness, the girl voluntarily helped with farm work. The wolf watched all this from a distance. In the afternoon, 3 foxes came to steal chickens. After a long howl, the wolf quickly rushed over. It originally intended to stop the foxes, but the couple thought it was going to steal the chickens and were about to shoot it with a gun. Fortunately, the girl stopped the couple in time. Then she ran into the forest with the wolf. On the road ahead, the hungry little girl wanted to ask the shopkeeper for some food. Unexpectedly, she was scolded harshly. A few young men saw that her wolf was impressive and invited her to join their team, providing her with food. Unexpectedly, what he didn't realize was that all the food they ate was stolen. The next day, their target was a big bull. The girl initially didn't plan to join, but the boy's twisted logic convinced her. The girl and the wolf were responsible for driving the bull. The bull didn't seem afraid of them and kept preparing to accept the challenge, while the wolf suddenly bared its sharp fangs and kept growling lowly. The bull instantly got scared and quickly ran towards the fence, soon reaching the bottom of the enclosure, and was successfully locked into the truck. Unexpectedly, the farm owner arrived at this moment. The boys quickly drove away, but the girl and the wolf were caught. The girl was locked up in a detention center. The wolf was forcibly put into a wooden crate. No matter how desperately the girl shouted, the wolf was still loaded onto a truck. Since they had stolen the farm owner's bull, the police planned to hand the wolf over to the farm owner for disposal. Although there was food and drink in the detention center, the girl didn't want to stay there. She was very worried about what would happen to the wolf. At night, she opened the bathroom's ventilation duct and successfully escaped. She went to the farm owner and only saw an empty wooden crate. She picked up a shovel as a weapon and questioned the farm owner about where her wolf was. The farm owner didn't say anything but calmly opened the door, revealing the wolf was still alive. The girl happily hugged it. Knowing the girl wanted to find her father, the kind farm owner not only drove her to the station but also provided her with food and money for a ticket. Unexpectedly, when buying the ticket seller recognized her and immediately called the detention center. After realizing this, the girl quickly ran away. They set off on foot again. After walking for an unknown amount of time, they encountered a kind driver on the road who said he could give them a free ride. However, this driver had bad intentions and took the opportunity to drive onto a small road, intending to harm the girl. The girl anxiously struggled, but the driver's strength was too great, and she couldn't break free. The wolf, anxious in the back, kept scratching the glass. Then it suddenly broke the glass and bit the driver's shoulder. The girl hurriedly jumped out of the car. It wasn't until the girl called for the wolf to come down that the wolf let go and jumped out of the car. Then they arrived at a refugee camp where the girl met a kind boy who not only shared his food with her, he also taught him how to judge when a train was coming. And once he was sure it was a good freight train, suddenly a wolf's howl came from the forest. The wolf ran past, and the girl hurriedly called out to it. The wolf glanced back at her but then dashed into the jungle. At this moment, the train arrived, and the boy quickly climbed aboard. The girl planned to leave with the wolf. The boy told her that was the call of a mother wolf, and the wolf would not return. In the end, the exhausted girl boarded the train. On the train, she kept looking out, not believing the wolf would just leave like that. Then, the wolf really appeared again. It kept running alongside the train, and the girl kept cheering it on. The wolf gradually got closer to the train as it ran. Finally, with a mighty leap, it successfully jumped into the carriage. The girl happily hugged the wolf, and the wolf adorably asked for a kiss. Just as the girl was about to kiss it, the wolf took the opportunity to lick her face. In the evening, when the train arrived at the station, the railway police came to search. The police felt something was off in the carriage. At this moment, the wolf stood up, and the police, thinking it was just a dog, walked away. To avoid being caught, the two quickly jumped off the train. After arriving in Seattle, the boy found a job. He hoped the girl would go with him. The girl found out that her father was working at a factory. She wanted to find her father first. The two parted reluctantly at the station. The girl arrived at the factory but couldn't find any information about her father. The receptionist said he might have gone to the logging camp. The girl quietly got into a car and followed it to the logging camp. There, she successfully found her father. The two embraced excitedly. The girl settled down at the logging camp. When she had free time, she would write letters to the boy. At first, the wolf would quietly lie on the ground every day, but soon it felt bored and always wanted to go out for a walk. One day, a wolf's howl suddenly came from the forest. The wolf quickly rushed out, and the girl followed. She hugged the wolf reluctantly. The wolf lowered its head, staring intently at the forest. It was its longing for the wild jungle. At that moment, the girl also let go. After all, the wolf had already helped her find her father. Its mission was complete. It was time for the wolf to return to the jungle. The wolf quickly ran towards the jungle, not yet out of Jimmy's garden. He turned back to look at the girl again. They locked eyes for a moment before the wolf quickly disappeared into the forest. The girl shed tears towards the forest. Although he was reluctant to part, that was the true life of a wolf. The movie, Legend of the Wolf Girl, ends here. A 1985 adventure film where a girl accidentally saves a wolf's life. The wolf risks its life to accompany her on the journey to find her father. It truly fits the saying, when a wolf looks back, it's either to repay a favor or seek revenge. Alright, if you want to see more great movie reviews, please follow me. Bye bye. Yeah.